have to ask them.
Yakuza? That's what that was?
Not every director knows that action scenes, fight scenes are tools for telling a story. You show here the real understanding of that. So I'm really curious, what was your approach to handling these scenes?
I think from the get-go, I saw that there was a pattern building up. All the action sequences are ramping up, of course, to the big cathartic climatic moment. But I believe that the best action sequences, they should be explosive, they should be amazing, right? And John Valera, we have our stunt coordinator who I've worked with him in the past with Blue Beetle, and he's a master on this craft. But I feel like our goal was always how can it show character? How can we explore more about who Johnny is by the way he was fighting with the Yakuza in his house? We know he's a little bit more, you don't know where things are coming. He's using things that are handy. He's a little bit more on the chaotic side. Eventually, when we get a chance to see the same thing with Dave, we see that he's, again, Navy SEAL, military, training, precise. So you start to build up on, and then the first time they're fighting together, right? The first time they have an action sequence together is chaos. And the truth is, it should be chaos. They haven't seen each other in 20 years. They should never be in sync. Then the next one, after they go through beating the shit out of each other and finally start the process of healing, you can see what two polar opposites can achieve once they start working together. So you see a potential of like, oh, you know what I'm thinking, I know what you're thinking. They start to feed off each other. Then leading up to our third act, which now they're in sync and they're calibrated. And yes, that doesn't mean that Jason's character, Johnny, is not going to be less nihilistic. It just means that now he's going to tap into a part of himself that he was not able to tap if he had not started the healing process with his brother. So to your point, yes, action for the sake of action, sure, but you can do way more with it. Even when the brothers fight, it's not just a fight for the sake of fighting. They're literally breaking each other's walls so that they can finally have that cathartic moment of healing.
I wonder how much you influence these scenes with your own ideas and how much you leave to the stunt coordinator and his team.
John Valera and we work hand in hand. I always start our conversations with, there's what's written on the page, and it's a great roadmap. There's the stuff that I wish I could do, the homage that I want to play. As much, I love Oldboy. I've always wanted to play an homage to Oldboy. I've loved a lot of these movies that do crazy action sequences, and I love playing homage. I do believe we stand on their shoulders. But when I talk to JV, there's always that conversation of like, what is the structure of that fight sequence as it relates to the character development? And also like, what are the different elements that I want to hit? Like I have an issue with people using the sheath crate because I always think they're going to cut themselves. So for me, it was like, oh, why don't we just use a sheath crate and let me process my phobias in camera so maybe I can, do a proper Parmesan cheese shave. But that was the conversation. It's always been like, these are the stuff that I like, these are the beats that I want to hit, but it's important that we're able to tell character through them. So it is symbiotic, and we've been doing it since Blue Beetle.
You work here with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. I'm really curious, what was your first impression of working with them?
To be honest, I can have whatever preconceived ideas of how to handle any sort of actor based on my past experiences. And it's always a learning curve. It's always you meet new personalities, you start acquiring new tools as you move on. The tools that I have for Blue Beetle were not the same that I have with Charm City Kings. And then moving on to this one, working with these big guys, everybody's a different personality. So being able to understand the humanity of them, how they work, how they process acting, it also taught me and gave me tools on how to handle it in the future. So I think it's something that I learned is, and Guillermo del Toro has said it before, is that we're, as directors, it's not our job to control. It's our job to, put guardrails and shepherd their performances and whatnot and inspire. But every actor comes prepared. Every actor has different ways of handling takes, and it's about having an open mind. And that's something that I'm gonna cherish as a learning experience in this movie that I can hopefully apply on the next ones.